Good afternoon, everyone. So, for our topic for today is negotiation skills. Topic is negotiation skills. Let me give a little opening remark about it. What is a negotiation skill? What we commonly term as bargaining. What we commonly term as bargaining. The technical jargon, when it happens in a workplace situation or a workplace scenario, it is called negotiation skills. It is called negotiation skills. It is actually a common uh, thing that you find, whether it is for one piece of a product, one single product, or a product in bulk. Negotiation actually is an entire process in which two or more individuals or group of individuals, they have a little common goal and it is conflicting. And what happens is they both come on to, please give me a minute. Sorry for that technical problem that I was facing. Fine. So it's actually a process where two individuals or two group of individuals which have common and conflicting goals. So what do we mean by common and conflicting goals? We mean that they want to, one party wants to sell, the other party wants to buy, but the price, the price which one party is quoting is not the price which is affordable by the other party, or they want to have little more benefits, right? So that's when negotiation takes place. Remember, when we are talking about negotiations, we are talking about companies and bulk orders. By bulk order, I don't mean 10 piece, 20 piece, 15 piece. I mean 20 boxes, 25 boxes of the material, whatsoever material they are buying and selling, bigger and huger amounts in case of companies, right? Here, what is the aim of negotiation? The aim of negotiation is to look at the situation, find a solution, and uh, a solution which is acceptable by both the parties, and to bring about and implement the solution, that is, seal the deal. Okay, over here we mean to say seal the deal. Now let's have a look at the meaning of negotiation. It is actually a strategic discussion that resolves any issue in a way that both the parties agree to it. It is members of both the groups come to a common agreement. By negotiation, you don't argue, you don't fight, and you don't quarrel with each other, but you come to a common solution which is profitable to both the parties. Okay, somehow you may reach a situation where both the parties have little benefit of the agreement that has been made. Okay, that's what we call negotiation. Now, why do we need negotiation skills? You cannot buy products as per the price which is quoted by any company, right? Let me give you a very simple example. You must have had an experience of going to the market to buy vegetables with your parents. Okay. Now, if you would have noticed, if you have not noticed till now, that's fine. You may now notice it if you get a chance to do so. So, if you notice, people will ask, if you buy a vegetable for of in the weight 500 grams, the price is different. Now, the same vegetable, if you buy in larger quantity, by larger quantity, I mean 1 kg, 2 kg, 5 kg, the price will become little different because you are buying it in a quantity. Similarly, any organization, when they are making transactions and they are buying products, they'll not buy it in one, two piece, right? One, two piece means they are going to get samples of the one, two pieces and then they'll buy in bulk. So the price would differ when you buy things in bulk, right? So why do we need good negotiation skills? We need good negotiation skills for the reason that our organization, we plan to keep our organization in the market for longer duration of time. Not only that, we want to have good profits in our business as well. When we need to have good profits, we need to have good negotiation skills, right? If you profit well in one or two products and not in others, that profit does not count at all. So you need to see or find a solution where you get profits in different stages and different pieces. The idea here is that not only you profit, or not only one party of the organization profits, but also the other party who is selling profits. Moreover, when you buy products from one particular party, you see to it that you create a long relationship, a long business relationship. You'll not be changing companies while buying similar kind of products. Okay, you will not be changing companies. That's why we do negotiations. Some examples as cited. This is not limited to the examples that I give. There are a few examples that I have cited, and you may explore as many as possible. I'll give you a few minutes to look at it. So you might have explored this examples of negotiation. Some daily negotiations that you might be doing on daily basis is when you buy your clothes, when you buy vegetables, you would always be negotiating, or you, if you are not, if you are not negotiating, you would have seen somebody negotiating. Okay. So let us see the different types of negotiation. There are major two types of negotiation: formal and informal negotiation. I'll start with the informal negotiation. Informal negotiation is when you are bargaining with the shopkeeper for a dress that you wish to buy for yourself in a lower price. Usually, informal type of negotiations are used for personal purposes. Now, when you take formal negotiations happen in workplace situation, and they are meant for increasing the efficiency in the working dealings or the organizational dealings. The example that I have cited here is the bargaining that you do with the dealer to reduce the amount of a quoted price by 5,000. Let's say, I'll give you an example here of Marwari University. We want to set up computer labs and we wish to buy computers. So, how many computers are we buying? We're not buying one, two. We'll have to buy 500, 700, 1,000 computers, right? So, let's say if a computer price uh, is 40,000, but it's 40,000 when you buy one piece. If you're buying 500 pieces, the company is going to give you some discount or some additional benefits. That is what you call formal negotiation. We have a reconnecting question over here. Is the statement true or false? The aim of a negotiation is to explore the situation to find solution that is acceptable to both the parties. What do you think? Is the statement true or false? You may type your answers in the chat box.
The aim of new
Bhumi, do you wish to ask some question? You have unmuted yourself. Do you wish to answer it? So the answers that you have given were absolutely correct. The aim is to find an acceptable situation to both the parties. Now, which are the 6 steps of negotiation? There are stepwise activities happen. Please note this is an important question from the exam point of view. The 6 steps of negotiation. There are the 6 steps. Remember, because it is a stepwise scenario, you cannot avoid any step. You need to go chronologically here. So, step 1, getting to know one another. Step number 2, statement of goals and objectives. Step 3, starting the process. Step 4, expressions of disagreement and conflict. Step 5, reassessment and compromise. And step 6, agreement in principle or settlement. Now let's see each step in detail. So step number 1, getting to know one another. Now here what happens is, it's a very initial part of the negotiation part. So what you need to do is each party comes to know each other by small conversations and talks. The thumb rule actually over here is that you begin with becoming friendly and observing everybody, but in a very professional manner. Friendly, but yet in a professional manner, right? It means you don't start talking about family and other stuff, you talk about business, right? You smile, you observe, you listen, and you learn. The hard part over here is always the listening part. Okay, we do not like to listen to anybody. The hard part over here is listening. But remember, listening is one of the very important skills in communication. And if you don't listen, you will not be able to observe how they work. Okay, so the getting to know one another step means you move smoothly and try to understand each party. Both of them try to understand each other. Next, a statement of goals and objectives. Remember, every time we have been doing any workplace scenario, we have talked about goals and objectives. You should know what you are aiming at. Which means, what do you want to buy? How much are you trying to negotiate, or how much amount are you trying to purchase? The initial idea of this statement of giving goals and objectives is so that you look into things and you begin on a positive note. Now, you cannot tell them after looking at objects that I don't want to buy this object, right? They can be showing you your entire showroom, their entire workplace. They can show you a catalog, right? Now, what happens is such kind of a situation which comes over here when you put up an initial statement. When you put up an initial statement, what happens is it actually builds an atmosphere of trust and cooperation. Next, the starting process. Now, what happens is till now you have been observing and you have been giving statements. Now, what you need to do is you need to begin. Now, how can you begin? You can begin by combining the issues. Let's say I want to buy 50, or I want to buy 500 computers, but I don't think the price is good enough. So can we look into the price? Can something happen in the pricing part? Okay, combining the information that is given, combining things that you have been observing, that you have been listening to, and do not try to resolve all the issues at once. You cannot combine all the issues and work solutions for all the issues at once. Right? What you need to do is you need to work one by one issue at a time. Right? You have to work on one issue at a time. You cannot be working all the issues together. Why? Because if you combine things together, it will lead to nowhere. But if you take one step at a time, can you please switch off your mic? Unless you have to ask something. If you work one issue at a time, you'll come to some possible solution. That's why one step at a time is what is recommended. Next, expressions of disagreement and conflict. Now, remember, if you say, please sell me this product for 5 rupees, nobody is going to say yes automatically. Okay, or at the very first go, you say 5 rupees, they say done. Does not happen. So what happens is, then disagreement comes into picture. Disagreement comes into picture, right? Which means you agree, you disagree, you again agree, you disagree, you come to a compromising situation. So that's where you tell, no, we cannot afford to give it to you in 5 rupees. My own purchase value is 6 rupees. Something. I'm just giving a smaller example. Here we are talking about bigger examples, right? But this is where it will lead to coming to a compromise or a situation where you can work on it. Now, reassessment and compromise. Now you relook things. Okay, fine, not 5 rupees, not 6 rupees. We agree at 7 rupees. You come to a place where you state things again very clearly. One party should move towards compromise so that the deal is finalized. And whenever you come to some agreement, you have to again restate them. Restating means you talk about it once again. Why do you talk about it once again? So that you clarify. You clarify things. If there is still some misunderstanding that is happening, there is still some misunderstanding that is happening, when you restate information, when you restate the information, clarity is maintained. Clear it, right? That's how you do it. Then agreement in principle and settlement. Settlement means you write it down. Remember, I have been telling you that whenever there is a document for workplace, written documents are the preferred ones. So when you have a preferred written document, this is where it comes. You agree, you write it down, whatever rules, regulations, other stuff has been mentioned, or other things that have been decided, note it down, both the parties sign it, and then they come to a common conclusion and they work things out. Now, when you have a written documentation, it reduces the danger of misunderstanding. It reduces the danger of misunderstanding. We have our reconnecting question again. Is the statement true or false? One needs to build an atmosphere of cooperation and mutual trust during negotiation. You may type answers in the chat box. Excellent. They're absolutely true. You can have negotiations only when you can build mutual trust and cooperation. So basic negotiation strategies. Kindly mark this as an important question from the exam point of view. Kindly mark this as an important question from the exam point of view. The basic negotiation strategies. Remember, these are two different questions. One, the 6 steps of negotiation, or the steps of negotiation, or how can we go through the process of negotiation. That was question number 1, which we discussed, the 6 steps. Now we are going to the basic negotiation strategies. Both are important questions from the exam point of view. So there are 3 basic negotiation strategies. Win-win, which is also known as the cooperating strategy. Win-lose, it is also known as the yielding strategy. And then you have the last one, which is lose-lose, which is also called the avoiding strategy, which you do not wish to come to in any case. So now, what is a win-win situation? Please remember, this question can be asked as a long question or 3 smaller short notes. Any one of them asked as a small short note. Right? So wherever you are marking important questions, do mark. This over there. So what is a win-win situation? A win-win situation occurs when both the parties feel that they have won, or they have benefited, or they have profited. Usually, negotiations in workplace scenarios would aim at win-win situations or win-win outcomes. Here in the win-win outcome, both the parties take a step of compromise. Not one party, but both the parties will cooperate and take steps of compromise so that both can gain something. Right? The next situation is a win-lose situation. Now, in a win-lose situation, it comes as an outcome when does it come as an outcome? It comes as an outcome when only one side receives a positive response, or one side is benefited, the other side does not benefit much. And that times you have a win-lose situation. Now, what happens in this kind of bargaining, or in this kind of situation? It is that in this situation, one company lets go of the situation and comes to a place where they don't gain much profits, they don't get much winnings at the end, right? So one party might get whatever he or she decides, or they decide. The other party might have to compromise completely. And the last situation is called the win-lose situation. Here, sorry, the lose-lose situation. Here, this is the part which both the parties would like to avoid, but at some times it would so happen that both the parties do not get much in the negotiation and they lose on the amount. So they don't even get any profit, but they have to give some as a part. Now, such situation happens in unavoidable circumstances. Otherwise, people avoid this one. So we have a connecting question again. Dash outcomes occur when each side of the dispute feel, here dispute we mean each side of the people who are negotiating feel that they have won. You may type your answers in the chat box. Excellent, all of you are correct. The answer is A, win-win. Right? The do's and don'ts of negotiation. The rules of negotiation. The first step in negotiation is to communicate and communicate properly. Respect the other person. Remember, you are negotiating, not quarreling. So be quite clear about what the problem is and what kind of solutions you think you can provide. Please see to it that you seek multiple solutions and not any one solution, because sometimes the solution that you feel is befitting, the company might not want you to give that kind of a solution, right? You might they might want a different solution. So look to things where you have a variety of solutions. Collaborate and try to reach on a mutual solution and not anyone. Be reliable and try to preserve the relationship. Remember, as I said, you don't buy products from different companies, you establish a relationship. A very simple example we can give is of the jeweler that you have at your home. When your mom wants to buy any jewelry in silver and gold, you have a particular shop, you buy from there only. Right? That's the maintenance of the relationship that is happening. The same has to happen in workplace as well. The don'ts: do not negotiate for the bigger share of the pie. Don't think that you are only supposed to profit. Think from both the parties. Yes, you have to profit, but do not make it a situation where the other party has to go into a loss, right? The opposite organization has to go into loss. Try to keep it into a balanced situation. Do not use confrontal language. You are not supposed to confront everybody or anybody, and you are not supposed to create an atmosphere where the person has to defend himself or herself. And you have to work in a situation where things work better. Try to develop a friendly relationship with the opposite organization so that trust remains a basic core or foundation. Don't make concessions without getting something in return. Do think of what other people are also getting in return. Just don't think from your side alone, right? If somebody does not agree to what you are saying, try to find the best alternative to the negotiated agreement. When we are doing negotiation, try to see to it that you work towards each and everything happening. At the same time, you also see that you don't miss out on things. Sometimes you may check options that seem out of place or crazy. Sometimes those crazy ideas may work, or those crazy solutions may work. Maybe for you the solution is crazy, but for the other person it might sound something agreeable. Okay, so don't avoid such a crazy situation. You may always look at the crazy ideas as well. So do we have any questions? With this we end negotiation skills. Do we have any questions? Any doubts? All right, if you don't have any doubts, we may move on to our ritual of having our quiz. Right, so I'll share the quiz link with you. Just give me a minute. So there you go. You can see the link of the quiz for today in the chat box. You may start attempting your quiz now. Excellent. I can see 14 of you have submitted a test. We'll wait 3-4 minutes for 2-3 people who are remaining, then we can move ahead. I can see everybody has completed the quiz. Now I've been reminding you to upload your resumes in the shared folder. I can see only 5 resumes been uploaded. Kindly complete the work by the end of the week. Okay. Kindly complete your resume by the end of this week. That's by Saturday. Now while you were attending the quiz, I've already taken the attendance. I'm going to call out the absent numbers. Kindly pay attention. I'm calling out the absent numbers. So absent numbers are 19 series 1, 7, 10, 15, 19. These are the absent numbers. That's 1, 7, 10, 15, and 19. Okay, I hope I'm not missing anybody. Great. So please complete your work of resume in the shared folder 1 and 2. I have drafted a few questions which are related to interview skills. You are supposed to draft possible answers. If you see, you'll find 3 columns: possible answer 1, possible answer 2, and possible answer 3. Kindly look into those questions as well. I hope I'm making myself clear. Right. Apart from that, what I'll do is I have also uploaded a document called PPT, and unit wise PPTs are present there. Okay. Due to some reason, I am unable to upload certain PPTs to our e-portal. Right. So I'm trying, I'll be uploading there as well, but I've also got a PPT folder for you in the shared Google folder. You'll find all the PPTs related to whatever has been taught till now. Unit wise, I am uploading. Fine. I hope I'm making myself clear about it. I'm uploading the PPTs unit wise. Right. So till now we are working till unit 3. So I have uploaded unit 1, 2, and 3. Right. Today I'll also upload reference books. Over here, I'll be uploading reference books for the subject etc. Fine, we'll end our session over here. Thank you, class. Have a nice day.